Want to have some fun as a writer and improve your craft at the same time? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over 3 challenges that you can do as a writer to grow, improve your fiction, and have a little fun. What's up, guys? Michael Laron here with Author Level Up, helping you write world-class stories better and faster. And I create these videos because I believe that each of you has Stephen King level talent, and you just need help unlocking it. So if you're new here, consider subscribing and click that little bell, ding, 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 to get notifications every time I have a new writing video. And in this video, I'm talking about a few writing challenges. So, when you sit down at the chair to write your novel, I found over the past 6 years and 50 books of doing this that you got to have a little fun when you're sitting in the chair. Because if you're just sitting down and it's like, I'm going to write a novel, it just gets tedious after a while. So there are 3 things that I've done and I've used to push myself over the years to help me write better fiction, but also to help me grow as a writer and improve my craft. And these things don't cost you a dime. So I'm going to go over 3 challenges, and they're going to cover 3 areas: speed, quality, and growth. And you can do these any day, every day. So here's the challenge. I want you to look at your current work in progress. Look at the chapter that you just wrote, all right, the most recent chapter, the one that's the hottest off the press. And I want you to look at how long it took you to write that chapter. All right, did it take you a week? Did it take you a month? Did it take you a couple hours? Whatever that is, okay? Get that number. And then when you sit down to write your next chapter today or tomorrow, what I want you to do is ask yourself, can I finish this chapter 50% faster? Right? Now that's kind of crazy if you think about it, right? Because you're wanting to improve your writing speed, and that might be a little too fast. But even if you fail that, how much faster might you get, right? You might finish your chapter 10% faster or 15% faster. And what is it that you learned from finishing 10 to 15% faster that you can apply to your next chapter? And then maybe over the course of that novel, maybe you can hit that mythical unicorn of 50% or 50% saved. Now, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to write sloppy. So if you've listened to my podcast, Writing Tip of the Day, it's a podcast that I have for writers Monday through Friday. Check it out if you haven't heard of it. But one of the things I talk about all the time on that show is don't write sloppy. Writing sloppy is one of the worst things you can do. It mires you in production time. It increases your costs, and it's just not a good thing to do, right? It's far better to do it and do it right the first time. But if you're going to do that, how do you do it right the first time, or how do you do it right in a fewer amount of drafts? Right? So just try it. It's something that I think you will be surprised. Now, does that mean that you're gonna write 50% faster every single time you sit down? No. But what is your sweet spot? I just want you to try to find your sweet spot. An alternative challenge for speed for you is if you are one of those writers that writes in multiple drafts. So say every novel takes you 10 drafts to write. I challenge you to try to do it in 5. Can you do it? It could be that if you're a draft writer, that the most optimal number for you could be 5, it could be 7, but you'll never know until you push yourself and try. Now, the second challenge is one that might make some of you shake in your boots a little bit, but I just try it. It doesn't mean you have to do it forever, but just try it. Maybe it will work for you, maybe it won't. So here's what the challenge is. Can you write a novel in 1 draft? Can you write your next novel in 1 draft? Meaning you sit down and what you write is what ultimately gets published. I know that scares some people, right? Because, we're always taught write crappy first drafts. I don't personally believe that. I think that's crappy advice. Write crappy first drafts is crappy advice. But anyway, try it. It might work for you. If anything, it's going to teach you a lot about yourself, right? Because if you can sit down and write a story in 1 draft and you're normally a 7 draft writer, well, then why are you writing 7 drafts? But if you can't do that, it's worth asking yourself why, and what were some of your barriers? What were some of your pain points? Because you can use that information to help you write your next book better. I recognize that it seems challenging, but just think about it like this. What happens if you fail? I mean, really, what happens if you fail? Am I going to come to your house and berate you because you couldn't finish your novel in one draft? No. Failure, there's nothing wrong with failure in this business, especially as a writer when you're trying to figure out your way and you're trying to figure out what to do next. There's nothing wrong with failure. And I heard on a podcast the other day that there are two types of failure, right? There's good failure and there's bad failure. It's kind of like cholesterol. Good failure is failure that you learn something from. And when you sit down in the chair and you experiment with writing or a new type of writing style, or a new type of writing process, you can almost never fail with that because at the end, even if you don't walk away with what you thought you were going to do, you walk away with knowledge and you walk away with self-knowledge on how you can be better and you can be faster. All right, so the third challenge has to do with growth. So this is something that very few people I know do, but it's something that I think could really help you and it will get you into that practice mindset, that growth mindset, right? So here it is. Every time you sit down, or just try it once, maybe try it for like a week, right? Every time you sit down, try a new writing technique on the page. So, for example, if you're sitting down and you're writing a novel and you have a chapter where your character is, you have three people who are talking to each other. What if you did something kind of different with that? Instead of just having three people talk, what if you had them talk while something crazy was going on, right? That's kind of a different way to think about it. But do something different that would make the reader think, oh, that's kind of cool. Or maybe they won't notice it at all, but try to stretch yourself in a new and different way. Or maybe there's something you read in one of your favorite books years ago, this technique that this writer used that you absolutely loved. Maybe you could use that same technique in whatever it is that you're writing. When you sit down, try to write something different and try to stretch yourself on the page. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes can be challenging, but it's how you grow. So let me give you an example. So I'm writing a novel right now where I've got my main character it's a scene where the main character is on the phone talking to someone. And then I was like, well, instead of having just a regular conversation, what if I did this? What if I had the main character on the phone talking to someone that is maybe like a villain? And then I have the main character's sidekick in the background doing something that's like distracting the main character, right? And he's distracting the main character, and then you've got this other character that's, got some tension talking to the main character, and you've got the main character switching focus between the phone conversation and the sidekick. That's kind of different. It's something like a mega bestseller would be able to do with grace, right? So how could I do that on the page in a way that one, moves the story forward, and two, captivates the reader? That's how I want you to think about certain things like that. Use every opportunity that you have that your main character has to deal with, use that as an opportunity to try to stretch yourself. And if you like this video, and if you like the techniques that I talked about and the challenges that I challenge myself with, I would definitely recommend you check out my book, Mental Models for Writers. It's 73 ways to elevate your thinking, improve your writing, and capture success. So in many respects, what I just talked about today, that's what this entire book is about. It's challenging your mindset and giving you lots of different tools to think about the craft and the art of writing in a totally different way so that you can break past those barriers. So you can get your copy at authorlevelup.com/mentalmodels. And really, I really want to hear from you guys. Which one of these techniques in this video resonated with you the most? Are you more interested in improving your speed, your quality, or your growth? Let me know in the comments and let me know which challenge you plan on trying. So with that, I hope you have a great week and happy writing.
Perfect.